Guys, this is Mel, and I'm back to talk about Supernatural, episode 1401, titled Stranger in a Strange Land, which premiered Thursday, October 11th, 2018 on the CW. I am recording 20 minutes roughly after the episode is aired, so huge spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the episode already, please go do so first. Otherwise, my other video reminders are up on screen. Take a moment to refresh your minds about that. I'm going to try to do this in 15 minutes, just because it's a premiere, give itself a little more time. But yeah, start the clock and let's begin with what happened in this episode. So timeline wise, it is 3 weeks since Michael has taken control over Dean. That is 3 weeks since the events of the 1323, the season 13 finale. Huge episode reminder. I will have to say this is technically the first official episode where we see Jensen playing Archangel Michael. Don't know if I would really count the little tidbit we got in the finale, but we get a full array of at least what his motivation is a little bit. So there's that. So episode breakdown, I pretty much only picked up 2 major storylines in this episode. First one being tracking down Dean ends up turning into a rescue mission for Castiel, and then the second one being Michael's own journey for answers. So with the first storyline, like I said, Sam has rallied all of his allies to try to find Dean in whichever way he can. That turns into needing to rescue Castiel from a bunch of demons who Castiel had hoped would give him answers about where Dean could be. So that leads into a little power struggle there. But they don't learn anything about Dean in that aspect. But they do know, or they kind of send their own message saying that there's not going to be a leader of hell. If anyone wants to, come through me first, type of thing is what Sam does. So there's that. With Michael's storyline, however, we do find out that he's been searching for the last 3 weeks for the question of what do you want? And he's doing that so he can find a way to create a better world. He's mentioned that he's talked to leaders of all kinds. He's talked to angels. He's talked to demons. He doesn't say explicitly, but we do get the demon that took Castiel. He makes a reference to the very question that Michael's been asking. He asked Sister Joe as an angel, as his first angel encounter, though he does state that he doesn't feel many angels on this world. So yeah, he also says that if all of them have the same want as Sister Joe, then he might not think of saving them. So that's something I'll bring up later on, though. But so there's that. So the last scene of the episode does show Michael revealing to a vampire that he is worth saving because of his purest want. And the vampire's purest want is to eat. So that's a terrifying thing. We've seen Michael a few times ask this question and then give his criticism over what it is or the lie behind it. And yet it terrifies me that to a vampire whose sole purpose is to eat or drink blood and to feast on humans, Michael views that as the purest desire worth saving. I mean, if anything, a baby should be the purest thing you should have saved, because their only want is to either eat, drink, or poop, right? So there's that. Anyways, moving on to tidbits though, very quickly. For the Road So Far segment that they showed at the very beginning of the episode, I don't believe Carry On Wayward Son was played. It was a different song, but as in my memory right now, as it aired as it aired an hour and 20 minutes ago, I don't think it played. So that's a little interesting, since it usually does play during that segment in the premiere and in the finale. So there's that oddity there. Also, we do see Bobby trying to teach Jack how to fight in the form of boxing. Trying to give Jack some lessons on how to win in a fight now that Jack doesn't have his powers. His grace was depleted by Lucifer, as you can remember, so it's going to take some time to regenerate that, which Castiel did confirm that it will take time for Jack to regenerate his grace and his power that comes with it. So there's that. Also, we get Maggie. It was the girl that was resurrected by Lucifer, I believe. She has now played kind of like the resident nurse of the bunker. We do see her get called upon a few times. So there's that. Hopefully she's a main feature, or not main feature, a main character of the rebels that we get to see or get to know a little bit more. But there's that. But because it's her, I'm wondering if they're gonna focus on what being resurrected could do for her, because they did make a point saying that people brought back aren't necessarily the same. So I guess we'll have to wait and see about that. Anyways, there's also 3 other rebels from the Apocalypse world that have played particular roles among Sam's army or inner circle, in a sense. Or that's the impression I get. But we got I don't have the names right now, but they'll probably be up on screen. But there's the weapon specialist that Mary went to, who gave all the descriptions for the ammo and what she could use and stuff. There's also the guy who's getting patched up by Maggie. He was dealing with a rawhead. I thought he was a tracker of some sort, but there's that. And there's also the cook, who came out. So those are the only other rebels we see aside from Maggie and from Bobby as well. So I'm wondering if we're going to see those 3 again more often, if not. So we'll get to see about that. Also, we get an update from Ketch. We don't see him or hear him. We just know about his current mission right now through Sam, and that is to track down the British Men of Letters device that ejects an archangel from their vessel. Now, we saw this being used against Lucifer when he was taking possession over the president in season 12. So when they used it, they were able to save the president's body while ejecting Lucifer out of it. So they're hoping to do the same thing with Dean and Michael, but Ketch can't find the device, so it's missing somehow. So there's that. So end tally, though, or death tally, as it were, pretty much Kipling, the head demon that took Castiel as his prisoner, and the one trying to become the new king of hell, he is killed by Sam, as well as a few of his demons as well, during the fight with Sam, Mary, Bobby, Jack, and Maggie. So there's that. So moving on to the most shocking moment of the episode. I didn't mention this just now, but shocking thing was that Lucifer's vessel, Nick, is actually alive. They explained it to the fact that Sam believes that Nick was able to survive Lucifer's death because the Archangel blade was only meant to kill the Archangel, not the vessel. So I guess because, I don't know, but that means any stab wound would have done it to kill an Archangel with an Archangel blade. Like it didn't have to be a kill shot, because otherwise how could Nick be alive, right? But his wounds have been healing, and it looks like the first time he woke up in the 3 weeks has been when Sam talks to him. And it's a little weird for Mary to even talk to him, because all they see is Lucifer, right? So yeah, we see Nick again. First time we saw him was in episode 501. When Lucifer was first trying to get Nick to say yes to being his vessel. So there's that. Another shocking moment I would have to say is the fact that Sister Jo actually calls Sam after her confrontation with Michael. There's nothing more to the conversation since that was the last scene we get of Sam, but she might tell him what it is that what his motivation or what he's trying to find could be. So maybe, hopefully she's actually on their side this time instead of looking out for herself. Because if you help out Team Free Will, get rid of Michael, then at least you can go, at least you have another day to live, type of thing. But anyways, moving into top 3 favorite moments. First one I have to say would be Sam's challenge against the demons after killing Kipling. Pretty much Sam challenging the demons and declaring that there is no new leader of hell ever. If anyone wants to try, you have to come through me first, roughly, is what he says. So that's pretty cool. And it's pretty sound, because every other person who's tried to be the leader of hell has been killed by a Winchester. So we had Asmodeus, we had Barthamus there after Crowley died. The Leviathans tried to be the leaders at one point. Lucifer was the leader at one point, and he got killed. So there's a bunch of people. Crowley's been the long-running leader. But yeah, I thought that was a great moment, that when Sam said that, and then all the remaining demons just fled, just proves the point that they're freaking scared. So that's awesome. Another favorite moment I had was between Jack and Castiel when they returned to the bunker. And it's when Jack is telling Castiel he doesn't believe he's useful anymore without his powers, that he doesn't have anything to offer, and like he has nothing left. And then Castiel's telling him, no, you do, you have us, and together we'll figure this out, type of thing. It was just a great moment between them, just to reassure Jack of his place, in a sense, because it's a tough transition for him. I mean, after all, he's still less than a year old, right? So he's still learning things, and now he has to learn how to live without his powers for the time being. But I was kind of hoping that Castiel would bring up the fact that he was in Jack's position before. He was human for a time being, so he can understand the struggles that Jack is going through. But hopefully we'll have that conversation later on. I just like that Castiel set the tone, saying that Jack's not alone. He has him, he has their family, and that together they will figure this stuff out. So I really like that. I appreciate that. The last favorite moment, I have to say, would have to be Michael. Only just because we finally got to see the mannerisms, the characterization of him through Jensen's interpretation, I guess you could say. But I personally just like his ability, like just how he puts people in their place, and then like he calls them out on their bullshit. I mean, when he's asking the question, what do you want? People give their answer, and then he's like, you're lying, and then he explains why they're lying, or he says, how can you want this when you have done the complete opposite, type of thing. I just thought it was pretty, I don't know how to say it. I don't know, maybe it's just what I find entertaining, but I just like that he just gives like this. It's kind of like with, if you're trying to, like early on when you're trying to use a pop culture reference on Castiel, and he just stares at you and it's like, I don't know that reference, or I don't know what the hell you're talking about, type thing, but he does it so bluntly. Michael pretty much has the exact same type of tone when you're trying to lie to him, and he's like, no, you don't. And he's like, he tells you this, and it's just like, that's just fantastic. It's like, don't bullshit him whatsoever. Yes, he's the enemy right now, but that was just awesome. So I'll give him that. Top 3 peeve moments. The only main one is the fact that there was no presence of Dean. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's great to see that Jensen is playing not only a different side of his character, but it's actually a brand new character, which is a first, I guess, kind of, if you don't count the monsters that have taken the form of Dean. But anyways, I don't know if I'm going to like if it's just Michael all the time. Because if you remember back in 522, when Lucifer was possessing Sam, we still got moments where we got to see Sam during that possession. So I was kind of hoping we'd get the same thing with Dean, how we would get Dean trying to fight or struggle against Michael's control over him. Because whenever we saw the two Sams, or the Sam and Lucifer with Sam's face together, it was either in a mirrored reflection, or if it was taking place inside Sam's head, and then that's where you got to see two versions. I'm hoping that we get something like that for Dean, because then on the one hand, Dean's always been one thing, and then by the time it's like the 3rd episode, then he's like back to his old self with another layer of complication to it. So on the one hand, I want Michael to stay longer, but then on the other hand, I don't want to go that long without Dean. So I guess the peeve is, unless I get an ounce or a spot of Dean somewhere, then it's like, I don't know, that's going to be a continued peeve then, because I'm missing Dean. I'm like, it's great to still have, I guess I don't know. I'll leave it at that. But what will I remember most when I look back on this episode, the fact that we do get to see Jensen playing Michael, that's going to be a huge thing. The fact that it is the season premiere is going to be a major one as well. So I'll keep it at that. But random questions, though, the first one I have to say would be in regarding to Lucifer's vessel, Nick. Would he still be considered Jack's father? Yes, Lucifer's dead, but since his vessel's alive, is Nick still considered Jack's father, or he's just like the donor type thing, and then that's it? I don't know, because conception, not really, because then the president would have, right? I don't know, because then it would have to be the president's vessel that impregnated Kelly, so then it had to be the president that was the I don't know, the vessel father or something. So I guess Nick, I'm confusing myself. Oh my God. So I'll leave it at that. Another question though pertaining to Nick though is, would Nick still be on the show? Like, is he going to stay around? Is he going to join the rebel fight to help stop Michael? Or was this episode and his healing all that they're going to do and then send him off on his way? Because I'm kind of curious as to who Nick is and like how he processes the fact that he was Lucifer's vessel for so long, and like how it feels to not only be alive but to be back type of thing. So I'm interested for that too as well. And the last question, and there goes my timer, that was close. But if Michael believes that Sister Joe's desires are so human and therefore unworthy to save, does that mean he doesn't care for humanity? And if that's the case, who is he making his better world for? I mean, there's so few angels, and if he thinks that Sister Joe and all the other angels are so similar to humans, then who is he trying to make this world better for? That's what has me worried, very worried. So moving on from that, let's go to predictions very quickly. It's been half an hour, 40 minutes now since the episode is aired, and I still have not found the promo for the next episode, which is pissing me off because my usual channel source that I go to they closed down their channel for some reason. So like every video that I've ever gotten to see from them is gone. So it's just like, yeah, they were usually my first source for promos, so I'm a little in the dark about that. But the synopsis for 1402 reads that Sam finds a clue to Dean's whereabouts, so he, Mary, and Bobby set out to investigate. Cassio imparts some sage advice on Jack, who, still desperate to belong, seeks out a familial connection. Okay, so from that, also stated Richard Spade Jr., a.k.a. Gabriel, he returns to direct this episode as well. So that's something there. It's great to see that Bobby is still going to be in this episode. I love the fact that we get Bobby back in this form. It might not be the Bobby we've known for the last few years, but at least we still get a version of him back. So I'm excited for that. Familial connections for Jack. So the only other thing I could think of is any family connections to Kelly, or if he's actually going to try to seek out a connection with Lucifer's vessel, Nick. So that'll be interesting to see. But that's about as much as I can go off of. So what did you guys think of the premiere episode? What did you guys like about it? What do you think is going to happen next? Let me know in the comments down below. Love to hear your own thoughts, theories, and predictions about what you think is going to happen next. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out my other videos if you haven't done so already. If you want, check out my Tumblr page. The link for that is down below. I reblog promos, web clips, quotes, GIFs, synopses, news, all that good stuff, all fun in one place. Go check that out. I'm trying to get back into the routine of doing it, so it might be a little behind for some reloads, but it will be all in that one place. So please be patient. I truly appreciate that. Also, WordPress account, link for that is down below. Everything I post online is connected to my WordPress. It's a lot more organized, but it's still a work in progress. Trying to find a balance in between this and my personal life. So I'm trying to get back into it because I had it all squared away before I started my job. So it's taken me a few years to try to find stability in an unstable schedule. So there's that. Also, live journal entry. I'm still doing the recaps or the jot noted summaries of the episode. The link for those will be down below. I'll try to get them up more closely to when they aired. I'm almost done with the last season's entries. I just got like 2 left to do, and then I'm up to date. But yeah, it's just the recap of the episode as I watch it for the first time, in moment thoughts, questions, anything like that. It helps keep things in order for me in case I miss anything later on, or if I misremember something, I can always go back and check. But if it helps you guys as well, that's cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your patience. I hope you come back next time to see what I have to say about the next episode. If not, I hope you check out my other videos that I talk about. But until that time, thanks again, and I hope you guys have a great day wherever you are. This is Mel, wishing you all bye for now.